I think one thing to recognize about the national security apparatus is, space is very expensive. If you're going to put something up there, you're going to have to spend money. And by and large, a lot of the use cases are m- um, still significant needs of the national security environment. And unlike the commercial sector, the DoD is willing to provide non-dilutive research and development funding to help you get over some of those costs. So, I think the conglomeration of private capital and non-dilutive research and development funding to help put assets in space that are addressing national security needs while also driving down the cost to accessing future commercial markets creates a really interesting flywheel effect. In fact, I'll just take this moment to highlight Maggie's recent blog on this very topic that she co-wrote with First Lieutenant Nestor Levin, a Space Force officer, as they sort of highlight the historical elements of how the space economy has evolved and the more recent utilization of venture-backed startup technology and how it's had an effect on the war in Ukraine, and how it's been used even to image what happened in Iran with the Fordo nuclear blast site, right? And how space technology is really being leveraged by lots of different entities, still predominantly the domain of nation states and national security needs. But more and more with the advent of SpaceX and driving down cost of launch, um, providing more and more business opportunities for different commercial markets. So to me, I think the rest of the DoD could truly learn from Space Force and their approach to leveraging venture-backed commercial technology and incorporating it into their concept of operations. And Mike, something that you had highlighted earlier in the conversation, buying something as a service, that is part and parcel to how a lot of these data providers, whether you're Hawkeye 360, whether you're Maxar, Black Sky Planet, in the future, Albedo with their first satellite in orbit now, um, these are really great opportunities for the DoD to not have to spend as much money, but get just as exquisite capability.
And importantly, be able to continue to improve the capability as those vendors improve their solution. So something we're not used to seeing in the Department of Defense, because we typically buy off one specification and from one vendor for 30 or 40 years with large defense platforms. Now buying things as a service means that the military can upgrade the capability as the private sector upgrades that solution.